Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-Trent. Today we're going to work on loose and easy watercolor lilacs. Simple and easy, anyone can do. Don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know when tutorials are up. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go over my supplies. I have a piece of Arches 100% cotton cold pressed paper. It's like a 7 by 10 inch piece. I have my paints here in my palette. I'll go over them as I use them. Paper towel, you can see the water jars now up here, and my paint brushes. I printed out from the web a couple of lilacs that I thought were good to show for you for reference. Now you see they come in a variety of colors, mostly purples obviously. This is a bluish purple, this is a pinkish one. The leaves are pretty much similar colors, and you know they'll show like them bloomed, and then some of the little flowers that are not bloomed. And we're going to paint some of that as well as some of the bloom ones. And we're not going to put too much detail because I like to paint loose. I was going to paint it in a jar, but I'm like, no, I'm just going to paint it as stems. You can follow along the mason jar tutorial with the wildflowers, and if you want to put it in a jar, it's the same premise, that you just paint the blooms and then you paint the jar afterwards. That's how I work it. So to get started, I mixed up some paints. I have this just a violet, permanent violet, and then I have the Hooker's, excuse me, medium green, Hooker's green. I mixed some of the violet with ultramarine here to get a blue purple, and then the rose with the violet to get that magenta-ish kind of purple as you see in this one. Now I could mix the colors of the violet, excuse me, lilacs, so I could have different tones of them in one bouquet, or I think I might just keep it blues and maybe add a little touch of the pink one. I'm not sure. So this is going to be simple and easy. I don't like to think things really hard for people. You want to get really deep and hard with the paints and the colors and the shapes of the flowers. I don't really like to work that way. I always look at things in terms of shapes to make things easier for people. So I'm going to grab my Grumbacher number 10 brush. It's just a fairly good medium-sized brush. Has a good belly to it. Put some water on it, and I'm going to grab this bluish purple up here and get some more water on it to get it pretty loose. And I'll dab it on my paper towel, which I do a lot. Put this back up here. You don't need to see the water jars, more the paint and the paper towel. So I always put it on the paper towel to see how the color is going to look on the paper, and that's kind of the color I want. So I'm just going to wash and do an initial wash. The initial wash is kind of like the first wash that goes down, the first color. It's the most important one. So the lilacs, in terms of how to make it loose, it's a bloom, it's kind of like, it's almost like a rounded triangle. So we're going to paint like, so I'm just going to dab it in like I did with the with the hydrangeas. We're just dabbing the paint. So you're obviously going to have skinny on the top and wider on the bottom and more round, kind of like a teardrop. See, I'm just painting that, and I put it on an angle, just washing in this light tone, and I'm dabbing it so you can still see some white in between it. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that. See, there's little white spots in between as I'm dabbing in. Little spots. Very simple. It gives it that loose effect, and it's light so that you can build upon the initial wash you put down. Now you see these blooms all kind of, they're very top heavy. They're branches, flowered branches, so they kind of droop. They don't really stick straight up. So you don't want to paint them kind of straight up. You want them in that droopy. So again, I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just going to dab in. It's kind of droopy. I'm just dabbing in the paint. A little known fact, I don't know if you know this if you're not a gardener or a florist or whatever. When you get the lilacs, if you pick them, you cut them, you have to smash the bottom of the stems for the water to go up the stem to put it into the vase. If you don't do that, it will not get water and it will die on you. So here I'm just dabbing again. I'm going to grab some more of this paint over here. And I'm leaving spaces in between because I'm going to put some greenery. And here I'm just dabbing here. And the dabbing is great because it's giving you that effect of the little teeny leaves, I mean the petals. These are a 4-petal flower. Now you can do this really loose and leave it like that and add just the color tones that wash in. Or you can add in, which we're going to do, some of the real little details of the actual flowers. Just here and there, not a lot. See, that one's bending downward. And then we'll put one up over in here. Now I'm probably going to do 5 stems because I like to work in odd numbers. I think it's always a good thing to work in odd numbers. It's just something that I've been taught when I was very young. Something how like your eye goes in a certain way, of your brain when it looks at paintings or pictures. Just like, you know, when I used to do trade shows, people tend to walk either to the right or to the left. Mostly I think they walk to the right when they first go in a place. See how you feel when you walk into a building. Do you go right first or you go left first? Just a little tidbit. And I'm going to put one back under here. I mean, I might do more than 5, but I'm just putting in this initial wash right now. Just dabbing in this color. While this is still wet, you can go in and add a little more of this deeper tone here. And just touch it, we'll tap it in there. You can just tap it. See, I'm just tapping it. Little taps. If it's really wet, it's going to bleed the whole through. If you didn't want that, then you should get a little thicker paint. Less water on your paint. So I'm going to add in some of that paint. You see? It'll be brighter than that. Not if I don't want it that bright, I just want to tap it out. But it will bleed. See, that one bled right through, but that's fine because I like that color. If I want more blue, I go in and add more blue. Just tapping in. The cerulean blue is good because it's that pale blue. Because it's, you know, some of the lilacs are blue tone, they're pink tone. In Boston area, there's a beautiful place called the Arnold Arboretum. They have a lilac festival every year on Mother's Day. We've been going past couple of years. It's really beautiful. If the weather's good. If the weather's not good, nah, not worth it. And they have so many varieties of lilacs. So here I'm dabbing in the deeper tones. And it's, like I said, you could go in and do the pink if you want, the pinkish purple. I change it up a little bit. You don't have to keep it. And here's the violet. I'm making that loose. Go in and dab that. I like the variety of the pink in here. Let's just change it up a little bit. There you go. Just dab that in there like that. Just tapping it. See, you get those little lines and little dots. Again, I'm still adding in some more of the deeper tones. Right about now, I'll probably add in some leaves. I'm going to switch my brush to a Princeton Long Round No. 8 Velvet Touch. And I've grabbed this green that I made. And the leaves are kind of just a simple, basic leaf. You can see them here. You know, leaves that go like this. Very simple. Not too fancy. We're just going to put those in here. Some of the, like, you can see, like, they, when they're on the side, they wiggle, kind of like that. You can do a little wiggle. Just a little wiggle with your brush. That's why this brush is really good for that. It has a long, it's long, it has a belly, but it's longer. I mean, to make a basic leaf with this brush, you're just pushing down and pulling up. Look at that. Add a little doodad. But you're just pushing down pushing down and pulling up. Make the brush work for you. You don't work for the brush. That's why a variety of brushes is good. As I've told you before on some of my tutorials, this Velvet Touch series and the what's the other one that I use a lot? The Neptune series. They come in 4-packs on Amazon. They're really cheap. I think for $23 or $25. 4 brushes, and you're getting a good amount of variety. They're synthetic brushes, but they work very well. So here I'm just putting in those leaves. Just a simple leaves. Obviously, a lilac stem is going to be brown because it's like an actual tree branch kind of stem. And we're going to do some of these little unopened flowers up here. How we do that, we grab some of this green with the little, I'm going to mix the green with a little burnt umber. So it's a greenish brown because it is part of the stem. It's not really a leaf. And we're going to go in and just put some of that in here, up in here, just like so. And then I'm getting closer so you can see. I'm going to grab our paint that we had before, water that down. Now it shows it's just making like a little ball and then pull it towards the stem. So it's like a long teardrop, if that makes any sense. And then you've got that tip detail. See the teardrop? Pull it towards you. You don't have to do that detail. I think it's just kind of nice. It's always nice to have flowers that are opened and unopened. That one's getting a little messy, but that's okay. We will fix that. So we're just taking the brush like a ball and then pulling it. Ball and then pulling it. There. Sorry about that. And I'm going to pull it back. So now you can see. So now I'm going to go in and just add some deeper tones. And I'm just pushing the paint around like this, you should see. And we're going to do a little detail petals. I'm going to pull it back in here. And they're just a 4-prong flower. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. A deeper tone on top of that one. The center could be white or a little dark dot. You can put a concentrated dark little dot right there. But it's a 4-prong flower. If you want to sit here and do those little teeny flowers all day long, you could do that. But you might lose your mind. So you can just put some of them here around, you know, haphazardly in areas. And if you don't have to make them look like the 4-prong. You can just put in these little like, you know, weird shaped oval type things that gives it the same illusion. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sorry, I'm moving my camera in and out. You're just getting the effect that you see that they have all these little tiny flowers that make up the lilac. And obviously as you're getting closer towards the bottom here, you're going to want to put in a deeper tone because it's going to be in the shadows. You could mix some of the purple with some yellow to tone it down a bit. It looks more like green, brown. Go back in. Get that shadow. Just keep putting in the shadow towards the bottom part and underneath where it's meeting the leaves. See, I'm just dabbing in. I'm not really painting in the 4-prong flower. I'm just giving the illusion of it. And how do I do that? Again, I'll show you. Tip of the brush, just pushing it like that. Kind of making like little ovals everywhere, sporadically. And you get that illusion that it's a lilac. I just keep going around. That's a little too wet, so I'll take that off. You want to be careful in putting too much watered color in. It's gonna just wash in like that and blend. If you want it more creamy, which is less water, more paint. And I know that it comes out dark, as you see up here. That's when you dab the paper towel like this, and you take off a lot of the paint. So you have it not as dark, but the consistency of almost wet on dry. So you get that deep color. And you just keep adding that. And then for the leaves, obviously you're going to need a deeper tone also. And the shadows. You're just adding some of the darker green in here, mixed in with this lighter green. You're always playing with tone. It does have some veins in it, but they're very faint, and they're like, you could put them in as green veins if you wanted to, like this. But not necessary, in my opinion. And then, of course, the branch part. I will use some burnt umber. They're fairly dark branches, but when they're watered down with the paint, again, I tap it on my paper towel. Now I like to crisscross. You can see it here. And the same thing, because that's how it is when you put it in a jar. To crisscross the branches. So you're just going to pull the branch and crisscross them. And they're just fairly jiggy-jaggedy kind of branches. They're not straightforward. That's a little skinny. They're not that skinny either, so I have to fatten these up a little bit. And the color's looking a little too brown. Gonna add in some deep yellow, a little bit of red. And there's the branch part. And then I could put one just like this over here too. Because it was looking too bouquet-ish, in my opinion, but that's okay. And then you're gonna just keep going in, and you're gonna keep adding in some more variegated leaves to cascading down like this one. I like how this one was just, there were 3 leaves going downward. It was kind of nice. A little bright. Getting the 3 leaves, grabbing a little of the darker paint and putting the stem to that. Again, grabbing another one here. Have fun with it, adding the leaves and how many branches you want of the flowers. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. It's, you know, change it up. I think I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could put another one up here, or just more leaves up here, which I might do. Just to break it up. Okay, that's a little too bright, so I add in some darker tones. Especially where it's hitting the lilac on the bottom here. And then this one had that pink tone, so I can go in and grab that pink magenta type color and do those blooms that were not opened, like I showed you before. And then go in and just wash in the color. So you get the idea, it's a lilac. And these haven't bloomed yet. Taking some of the color off. You're just mopping it up with your brush when you do that. And this is so easy. Was that easy? That was pretty easy, right? Again, you just, like, see how I'm just dabbing. And if you feel like that you painted too much on there, just take a paper towel, lift it up, and we'll wash that out. You have that nice soft illusion. See, I had little ones over here. It's fun to play with. Lilacs, I feel like the hydrangeas, are fairly easy if you want to make them loose. Doesn't require a lot of technical skill. Now, once those other, if you had those details of those little teeny flowers you put in here, you can go back in, like I said, grab basically right from the tube, you mix the blue with the purple, and just put the dot in the center. Little dot. It just gives it a more detailed look. But you don't have to do that. And that was pretty quick, right? Very pretty. This would make a great Mother's Day card, birthday card for a friend, a mother. Mother's Day is coming up, and lilacs are in bloom in May. Putting a little leaf under here. Didn't like that it was... And I'm going on top of that branch, which is fine because it's going to be a darker green. So you just keep adding in some details. Just play around with it. And I feel like this was fairly simple. I mean, you guys can totally do this. And again, with this, with the branches, you want to add in some deeper tones to one side of the branch where it overlaps. You put in that shadow color, like a deep dark brown. Again, you don't have to do that. So, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was really quick. It was really easy. You know, you're just taking those brushes and you're just making those dash lines. Just dabbing it. Adding the little paint. Slowly. Because, you know, the initial wash is the big one. Then you've got this beautiful, pretty, simple lilac. So thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate all of you, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. And I hope you guys have a great day.